sure. I think John's going to be on tonight.
You see the grades that they had for our draft picks?
No. Oh, yeah. I did, actually.
Really disappointed in the grades they gave us for those.
I'm okay with the
I think Wirfs is higher than a B.
Well, if we could have traded down further, get Thomas, I think.
But we'd had to trade in top 4.
Mekhi would have been nice, but that would have been cool. Okay, hello everybody.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going, Bucs fans and non-Bucs fans? But
whoever's stopping by
to talk and chit chat about football.
Greatest sport in the world.
It is the greatest sport in the world. I agree, and it's probably the most fair sport in the world too. It's one of the fairest of them all.
At least it was.
Yeah, you got the salary cap, so everybody's on the even keel and stuff like that. But you got the draft, which puts everybody on even keel. And the decisions you made in the past will catch up to you.
Teams should have been tanking.
Yeah.
A lot of teams should have been tanking.
But how do you think the Bucs did? What do you think?
I think we did exactly how the Bucs thought they were going to do. They filled the needs that they needed. They got the offensive line.
They were who we thought they were.
Exactly.
They were who we thought they were.
Exactly. We got the O-line. I mean, we got one of the top 4 offensive linemen, and it was an offensive line draft for sure.
Yeah.
So getting him at 13 was big, even having to trade up 1. Second round, we went safety, biggest need on the team. Filled that spot. And then third round, we went running back, which is another spot we needed filled. I mean, there's nothing too exciting about it. We didn't make a Jalen Hurts pick or
what do you think the
pick.
best thing we did was in the draft? What do you think the biggest actual move that we made was?
The biggest move that we made, I think, was the patience at 13. Watching all those offensive linemen go early, especially Andrew Thomas at 4. Yeah. And then we thought we were real patient. We thought we were safe. But then 9, 10, 11 came around, and 2 more went. And that's when everybody watching that draft knew who we wanted, an offensive lineman. And that's why we traded up 1 pick.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the best thing that the Bucs did was getting Tristan Wirfs. That was the most the way we sat back and said we will wait, and when we watched 3 of them go, but we weren't going to let that 4th one go because after that the pickings were slim. Mm-hmm. We're going from heavyweights to middleweights. And getting Wirfs was such a huge thing, and it's not surprising that we did it. Honestly, I mean, it just wasn't surprising because if we didn't do it, if we didn't trade up, and everybody's, oh, you traded up. Well, San Francisco wasn't going to take him. No, they weren't. But there were a lot of teams that were. We weren't just in the first one, the only one saying we need that offensive tackle. There were a lot of teams saying we'll give you this for it, we'll give you that for it. And what the Bucs actually did, saying no, we will go higher than anybody else with getting this guy, and they went pretty much all in again. A no risk it, no biscuit play is what Leach had just said about this one too. Is that they needed that, so we weren't the only team betting on or trading up, even if it was just 1. We weren't the only team trading up for this guy. So I'm just glad we are the only team that got him.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that when it comes to Wirfs, trading up 1 pick, everyone was confused by that, saying why would you trade up? San Fran isn't gonna take an offensive lineman, which that was true, he wasn't. But like he said, some other team was gonna trade up to San Fran and get in front of us for that guy. It's not like other teams weren't talking to San Fran, and I'm sure San Fran was when they approached. I'm sure they approached the Bucs just as much as the Bucs approached them, saying, "Hey, someone else wants this, and they're offering this much. How much do you guys got?" And we gave them just enough. Same thing with a lot of other players that we've done. So I think that was a smart move, trading up 1 spot, because if we missed out on this guy, we would have been trading down a while, because there was nothing left for us at that 14 if he was gone at 13.
Yeah, I think in trading up for Wirfs is the best move we made. Now, as far as the whole draft thing goes, what's your analogy on it?
Like this year specifically?
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I thought this year was really, really unpredictable, actually. I mean, it was one of the first years, though, for a while that the top 2 were really predictable picks, which, I mean, that's almost every year, I guess. But Burrows was a lock-in about a month early. But when it comes to everything else in that first round, especially the top 15 picks, it was very, very unpredictable. I would say when it comes to like Jalen Hurts falling and going to the Eagles, nobody expected that. Nobody expected Justin Herbert to be a Charger. That was shocking. And then the Dolphins, I mean, people we're not expecting the Dolphins to make such a great draft. I mean, I was very surprised with that team as well.
Yeah, the Dolphins probably did better than almost anybody. The Cowboys getting Lamb was huge too. But,
Yeah, that was big.
But I think as far as the Bucs go, I think I've seen it was different this year in the fact that we didn't just go get the best player. We went and got what we needed, because the first thing we were saying we needed was two things. We needed an offensive tackle to protect Brady, and we need a safety.
Bad.
These were the two things we finally needed. In the last couple drafts, we've been going like, who's the best player out there? O.J. Howard. I think that O.J. Howard wasn't the best pick for us, but he was the best player in the draft. And the same thing the year before that. We've been going for a player draft, but this year you can see an Arians vibe to it where I need an offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
First thing we get is an offensive tackle. We look at our next weakest point, which was safety. We need a safety. They go get the next best safety. Then what's the next thing? What's the next thing we need? We need a running back. They go get the next highest running back. It's not like they were getting the best player, but they were getting finally what we needed. So I think that's kind of where I looked at it. And I'm looking at the lineup. We took offensive tackle, safety, and running back. I think those were, bam, they were key. I think Bowles got in there with that safety coming in too. Bowles like, this is the guy who I want.
Winfield's nice.
Yeah. But after that, I'm kind of like, I think we could have went defensive line before we went to a wide receiver. Because I think after that's where we started saying, okay, I'll take the player. After those three, it feels like we just started saying, I'm going to go with the best player instead of the best need for the team in depth.
Yeah. Well, I think where that mentality changed for Leach, where it went from being the best player to picking the position we need, was when we became a win-now team. When you're a win-now team, it's, okay, what do we need this year? When you're a team that's in rebuilding season, the best player is probably the best thing to do, because you might already have a defensive tackle, Pro Bowl Gerald McCoy or Pro Bowl Ndamukong Suh, but you go and draft that Vita Vea, and you give them a year or two when you're still rebuilding. By that time that he's a good developed player, the best guy you have is probably not on the team anymore. So, and that worked out with Vita Vea, because we had a McCoy and we had a Suh, and that was all that, the time when everybody was leaving. So Vita Vea was probably the right decision. But when it comes to the O.J. Howard decision, I don't know if that was a wrong move when it comes to picking the best player, because that was the plan, is to pick the best player. It wasn't the best player. Yeah. We could have taken a Budda Baker, like John Gruden said, right before we took the pick. We could have taken a lot of really good players in that draft, but it happens every draft where everybody regrets not taking a certain guy.
Yeah, and that's Budda Baker. Antoine Winfield Sr. is our new Budda Baker, so we're hoping that he really goes out and plays like his dad. I watched some highlights on this Antoine kid, and he's really good. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty excited about those. The first two picks were very exciting picks for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After that, it kind of started getting to be, what are we going to take? Mm-hmm. What are we going to take? When I was personally thinking we would take the defensive lineman next, because, with Nassib being gone, it was kind of like that's our next weakest link, is we need to get that edge taken care of, and I didn't see that one come next. But running back I was okay with that. I just didn't know about about Vaughn. I was like,
I never heard of him before, actually.
I didn't hear about him. I saw his highlights, and he looks more of an up the gut kind of guy. So that's cool. Because the next guy we got in the back end, what's his name?
The Raymond Calais.
Calais seems to be, from what I've heard somebody talking about. We heard John talking about Calais yesterday, saying that he's going to be a pretty good move.
He's actually our third highest rated player in our draft. So I guess pick for player for where we got him at 245 overall, it must have been a pretty good spot. But I'd never heard of him. He's out of Louisiana Lafayette or something like that. I mean, that's good. Small school or something, but I never heard of him. Hopefully he can give us some kind of scat back material, which I think that's what he is. So if he can give us some scat back material in that backfield, because Brady likes that, and I think we need to be built around him.
Yeah, I agree. And then hopefully this Khalil Davis, the guy we got for defensive line, hopefully he pans out. Yeah. Because he's feeling Nassib was a bad build.
He was very good.
He came around last year.
Where did he go, actually?
He went to Tennessee, didn't he?
Tennessee or something like that? I know he got signed about $5 million a year.
Yeah, he went to a good team,
something like that,
so it was kind of disheartening to see Nassib go, because I was like, boy, if we could keep him, but I guess he wasn't as big of the piece of the puzzle that Bulls thought he was replaceable, or at least for that much money he was.
Yeah,
he
was
just played he lights out last year.
Yeah. Well, we had to pay Suh and all that stuff too. We have a certain amount of money that needs to go in that defense, and I think we knew that Gronk was going to be swinging around soon. Yeah. So I think that was the right decision to let him go, especially if he was asking for, I think, $5 million a year.
Yeah.
which is a little high for a backup defensive line.
Yeah. Well, last year he was starting.
Was he?
Yeah, man. Last year he started it.
I thought he was just in and out a lot.
There was somebody he was covering for. You're right. He was a backup, but there was somebody that was hurt. That
I
he
know.
was in
Yeah,
for
Jason Pierre-Paul was out for.
Pierre-Paul was the right, and Sid was the left.
I thought Shaq was playing on the edge on that end.
Who, Barrett?
Yeah.
Barrett's the linebacker.
Yeah, but he plays edge. That's why he had so many sacks.
Yeah.
He's our edge rusher most of the time. Pierre-Paul's a little further on the inside than Shaq, but Todd Bowles' defense likes to transition those players out where they have linebackers at D-end and D-end at linebacker, and he's not the kind of guy that you see other than your defensive tackles in every play. Yeah. He likes to rotate a lot around with the defensive line. And that's why we always saw fat guys running almost halfway off the field for 12 minutes on the field last year.
Yeah, that's true.
He likes to rotate
switching them out. We're getting the fresh legs in there. Bowles is good at this. Bowles is good, man. I think the best defensive player we have on the team is Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
So I think with that being said, we picked up a linebacker in number 6, which kind of
or it's late. It's actually early 7.
Yeah, that threw me. I didn't understand a linebacker. I was like, what do we not have in linebackers? We've got.
I think we're just looking for.
What do we not have in linebackers?
I mean, once you get past round 5, 6, you're really looking at backup players, and possibly potential players that you think can progress into a starting position. Mm-hmm. I think that was kind of the role that we went for at linebacker. There was just get some depth at linebacker. You never know. I mean, we got him with our 7th round pick that was traded. I think we traded for that 7th round pick.
Yeah,
some crazy trades.
The Patriots.
Yeah, and I think with the 7th round pick at linebacker, I don't see anything big out of it. I mean, those kind of people, you never know if they make it out of training camp or not. But maybe he can progress into something for us. You never know.
Yeah, and maybe sometimes those are the players that actually do come around, and we're like, ooh, who's that guy? And you're looking at him on the team, you get the number in your back of your head, and he's on special teams for the first year. Then the second year he comes around and he takes a spot where Levante David or somebody in the linebacker position is asking a little too much money, and we're like, well, we're gonna pull this guy up. He's pretty happening too. So you never know about that. But I was kind of like, I always thought we were gonna keep sticking with the D line. I thought we needed the D line was the next fix or offensive tackles. I just thought the big guys is what we needed. I need the safety in the back. Maybe a corner or two. Even another corner would not have surprised me because I'm still not.
I was shocked by that.
I'm still not all in on Dean. Personally,
I'm not even all in on Bunting either.
Yeah,
I'm not all in on any of our corners. Actually, I'm not 100% confident with them. It's not that I don't think they're good. I'm not 100% sure because they weren't consistent. I
know that they're good, but I don't know if they're mature enough to handle the 90% or
the consistency,
the whole game.
Yeah,
to stay in the whole game without saying, wait, we got to go throw you in on this guy because
Because Bunting can't cover him.
Thomas is totally throwing Bunting for a loop. Thomas is totally let's try him on him. Let's give this guy a shot or double team with him over here.
I just don't see the consistency in cornerbacks.
Yeah, so I would not have minded to see instead of another running back or a wide receiver, even that for that matter. I would have liked to have seen another cornerback or another safety in the secondary come in to play. So honestly, I think that the running back to begin with was good. The wide receiver, I don't like that. The linebacker, the 4th, the 6th, and the 7th pick, I don't care for. Wide receiver, linebacker, and running back, I think we could have used it up a little bit differently. I don't know.
I actually kind of liked the receiver decision.
Did you?
Just because I think we are looking for the player that can replace Perryman. Because at the same time, we do have good 3rd, 4th string receivers with Watson.
Really good.
But we don't have that type of a player like Perryman was, where he has that speed downfield. We don't have that extremely fast player or that really. If you got to look at it like this, Mike Evans is the only tall guy on the team. A receiver. He's really the only tall, get up there type of receiver. So if you can get a fast, quick receiver like Tyler Johnson, I think that's going to work for us. I honestly think finding him in the 4th round for a receiver to be your receiver 3 is going to work.
I don't think he'll be a receiver 3. I think he'll be sitting sitting behind Justin Watson or Miller.
Really?
I think Miller. I mean, honestly, I think Watson's better than Miller. I just do because he's fat. He's just big. He reminds me of Joe Vicious, or somebody like Jordy Nelson. He's tall, he's lengthy, got speed, and he just gets up there. He gets in the air. It would be so dangerous having him and Mike Evans at the same time because they're just so they can get up there. But
They confuse me, actually. I get confused between the two. Watson's the taller one. Miller's the smaller one.
yeah,
Yeah, I think Miller's the better receiver,
Miller's
actually.
like 5'9".
I really think Miller's the better receiver out of those two, especially for Brady.
So does Skip Bayless. That's why he's saying that.
Who?
Skip Bayless.
He thinks what?
Miller is the boy.
I think he's the boy, too. I don't actually watch Skip, but I really think he is the boy out of the two, just because his hands are better, in my opinion. We've seen Watson drop a few balls last year. Watson does seem like he can get open more than Miller can. Miller, I just think, is going to work for Brady a lot better because he's the small, white guy in the middle, and that's what Brady likes. I mean, he's going to be down the middle. He's going to play like a Wes Welker. He's going to be in there. I mean, he runs the route. He throws it to the X, and he'll catch the ball, and he'll move with it. I just think that's the kind of receiver that Brady likes, and that's the exact kind of receiver Miller is.
Yeah, Miller's good. He's good. I'll give him that. But
I'm not taking anything away from Watson. I do think Watson's a good receiver. I just think Miller fits Brady's bill more than Watson does.
yeah, and I agree. No, for as far as that being that little Amendola, little Edelman kind of player in there, this is Miller. It's totally Miller. But as far as being the number 3, kind of like a Perriman, is more like a Watson. But that's where Tyler Johnson comes in, where he reminds me more of the Perryman, I guess, another one of them, which I thought we already had. I thought we have another guy back there too. I can't think of his name right now, but there's another dude who was coming around last year.
I think we actually ended up dumping him. I forgot his name though.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wilson, I think, or Bobo or something like that.
Yeah, now that we have Tyler
Bobo Wilson.
Bobo Wilson, Dad.
Yeah, I don't know if we still have Bobo Wilson. Actually, I have to look. Let me check. I'm pretty sure we got rid of Bobo Wilson.
And then getting Chaplin Russell as a linebacker. I mean,
Bobo Wilson's a Carolina Panther now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think wasn't he with Carolina before he came to us, or did we draft him?
I think we might have drafted Bobo. Let me check.
He sounds like a Carolina name anyway, Bobo.
He does, yeah.
That sounds like Bobo.
He was signed by us as undrafted free agent. He came out of Florida State.
Okay.
So he obviously was going to go to us first.
Okay. But that's what I think about the draft. I think it was good for the first 2 and 3. But I think I think instead of a wide receiver, not that I'm upset about Tyler Johnson or Russell or anything. I'm welcome to Tampa Bay if you're watching. Welcome to Tampa Bay, and glad to have you on the team. Apparently, you're pretty dang good. But I kind of thought we were just going to go in another direction with it. I thought we were going to take another lineman or another offensive tackle for some fresh legs, or a corner or safety. Stay in the same.
Yeah.
Kind of just what we needed, not what we already had. And I think that the ones that we already had were probably, in my eyes, the wide receiver, the linebackers, and an extra running back, which I think we could have went another way with.
I think the extra running back decision was more we're getting a Vaughn. Vaughn was kind of the decision we made, I think, to give us some running back competition against Jones.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to Calais, he's more of we're going to use him as a scat back if he can prove himself in a training camp and preseason.
That's what he looks like. He looks like that, kind of like a Lewis guy.
Yeah, like a Deion Lewis or the guy out of Washington. I always forget his name. He's pretty good. Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Juice.
No, Juice is a big guy. I'm talking like small scat back who can handle the ball a little bit well. Not the best hands, but really good open field.
Right. And the thing about Vaughn is I heard Coach Arian saying that he reminds me of a guy that he didn't draft. The guy he wanted was Abdullah to draft.
Amir Abdullah?
Amir Abdullah. He wanted Abdullah, but he ended up getting knocked down, and he had to get David Johnson instead. And he said that's kind of what happened with with Tristan Wirfs. He wanted somebody else, but dropped down and ended up getting Wirfs instead. And he said sometimes it plays to your benefit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a good example of Amir Abdullah and David Johnson. You compare those careers, they're much different.
Yeah, so sometimes it's a blessing in disguise to see the guy that you wanted, the guy I wanted, go to somebody else. Yeah,
I actually believe the guy I wanted was Thomas, and I think he went to Giants at 4.
Yeah, I wanted Thomas too.
Yeah, and they ended up getting Delpit in the second round?
Yeah, and then Mackie Becton. No, they got Becton. Who?
The Giants.
Yeah, the Giants did get Delpit, yeah.
Yeah, they took the 2 guys that I thought I kind of wanted, actually. They took the offensive tackle I wanted and the safety I wanted. But I think Winfield, after watching – I never heard too much about him, but after watching his highlights and hearing about him and how much we like him, I think he might have been the right decision.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Wirfs was the only decision. That's the reason why we have him.
I am stoked. To have Winfield, honestly. After watching this kid play, I didn't watch it, but I watched this kid's highlights, and this kid was like beast.
He is, man. He got some eyes. He reads a quarterback.
And he was number 31 in college, and that's Whitehead's number. But the coach has already said that Whitehead has agreed to give Winfield the number 31, and awesome. Whitehead's going to go to number 33. But so Winfield gets his number from college coming in, so that makes me think that Winfield's going to be the starter.
Oh yeah. I believe so. I mean, if you're taking your starting safety's number to give it to the rookie safety, that rookie's taking his job.
Yeah, it's a welcome home, Antoine Winfield. Yeah. Welcome home, and we've missed you.
He's never been here. I don't think he's from Minnesota, but
we've missed your playing ability.
We need your playing ability.
Yeah.
We need that. We need somebody to read the quarterback and react fast because we haven't had that safety in years, actually. I don't know if we've had that since. I can't even think. I honestly can't think of a safety the Bucs have had since maybe Lynch. Lynch was the only one that was able to read and react to a safety position to a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because ever since then, I mean, the best safety we probably had has been Justin Evans, and that's not okay.
That's not okay.
That's not okay. No. Yeah, we've always been weak in that position, so it's hopefully we can get some luck with this time and have a good duo back there with Winfield and Evans.
Yeah, and with our guys coming around last year with Todd Bowles, shaping up Whitehead and these other guys back there, he's making these guys look better. He's getting the best out of them. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that just progresses into the season. Yeah. And Antoine Winfield, if he can he's made his dad proud now. I guess he's made his dad proud by being drafted and all he's done, but now it's time to make us proud.
Exactly. I love Todd Bowles too. I mean, that guy knows how to draft coverage more than anybody I think I've seen. The guy drafted Darrelle Revis. He's drafted Antonio Cromartie. He's drafted Jamal Adams. I mean, the guy knows how to draft some coverage. So let's hope that sticks around.
And we gave him one pick. No, we gave him three there. I guess we gave him three. Yeah. He's got Winfield. He took Khalil and Chappelle Russell. Okay.
I guess we really felt like our defense had the pieces already.
Yeah.
And we're just ready to build up what we already had and not have to go get the new pieces to the puzzle other than Winfield. Because you would think that after last season, being the strong, crazy, potent offense that we already had before Gronk and Brady, that we would go out there getting an offensive line, but then just go all defense after that. And I guess Bowles already knows what he has and what he needs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I honestly just see with the draft, I see one thing with the first two picks we got. The first two picks we got makes me very, very happy, and the Bucs got better.
Yeah, agreed.
The Bucs got better with just those two picks right there. That improved the team. That made us more powerful. It made us stronger in them areas that we needed, that we were weak in.
Yeah.
The chains. What?
What? Sorry.
What's so funny?
Samantha texted me saying, "What do safeties do?"
Oh my gosh. Safeties. Go ahead. You can answer that one.
Safeties are like a cornerback, if you know what that is. They play in the coverage. They're like the last line of defense. They stand in the back. They try to read the defense. Sometimes they step up and rush the quarterback. Most of the time they sit back, play coverage, and they usually either play 2 zones or 3 zones.
It's like this. Let me explain it. I'll explain it to Samantha.
In like a more simple way. Go ahead.
Okay. Say that there's a pile up in accidents. Okay? There's a pile up in cars in the highway. But there's an ambulance that needs to get by these cars. But there's a cop on this side saying a bad guy is driving the ambulance. We can't let him by all these cars. So the ambulance goes around and tries to get by these cars, and the cop back here pulls the ambulance over and shoots them and kills the ambulance driver.
Oh my God.
That cop is the safety. He's the last protection of the line, the last guy blocking the bad guy from getting away. So he's like
it's to stop the big plays from happening.
Yeah, he's like the guy that has to stop the people from getting by the line of defense.
Yeah, they call it safety because he's the safety net of defense. It's the last net.
It's the last resort to a touchdown.
Yeah, the last if someone breaks a play, usually the last person that has a chance to tackle him is the safety.
Yeah, if somebody runs by your safety,
it's over.
That's usually a touchdown because it's that last guy on the team in the backfield who's staying back so nobody gets a touchdown.
Exactly.
And he sees those ambulances coming past the line, getting through.
Yeah.
But stopping the ambulance who has the ball, trying to get into the hospital. We got to stop it from the hospital.
Yeah,
it's like
she gets it now.
Oh, you get it?
Yep.
Okay.
That's good. But hopefully Winfield can be that line of defense for us and stop everybody, stop the plays from happening, pick the ball off. I mean, if you watch his highlights in Minnesota, it seems like he's a really clutch player. When it's time to step up,
good, dude.
When it's time to step up in a moment where that team needs to stop, he's the guy that jumps in and he makes that play and stops them. His biggest highlight that they never stopped showing over and over and over, I forgot who it was against, but they were down, I think, or they were up by 6 points, and they were throwing it to the end zone. The dude looked wide open, but Winfield just came flying, picking it off, and just falling down at the 15 to win the game.
I saw that. Did you see the one where he was in the end zone?
Yeah, that was the one. He jumped in last second.
He went up, and he was going to go block this guy, and then he saw the quarterback throw it back there, and he beat the ball back.
Yeah, beat the ball back.
To the receiver to jump up and just did this awesome pick-off. I'm sorry. He did this awesome pick-off, and it was the end of the game, too. It would have won the game.
They would have won
the
the game if they caught it.
It was Winfield in a clutch situation, guarding more people, just playing
He was being double covered.
He was being like, he was the ball.
Yeah.
He was like, it's not going to happen on my watch.
Beautiful, beautiful read.
I'm excited about Winfield.
I am. I'm excited about what he can make mess with Drew Brees a little bit and see if he can become a little bit of a, scarce on the defense. Don't throw it near that guy. Let's just hope he develops into that.
Stay away from him.
Yep.
But yeah, there we go, man. We're done. I guess we're good, guys. I guess we're all set for 2020. We'll talk more about the Bucs and the NFL in particular. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else you wanted to say, or any crazy moves? Or
no, I'd say go Bucs, man. We got what we needed. A couple other pieces that they think are going to help, and let's hope it plays out. Go Bucs.
Amen. Go Bucs. All right, thanks guys for watching.
See you guys around.
Bye.